Okay, welcome back to my channel. This is a reading, just a quick en route for Cancer. Just using a different deck, a couple of different ones. Oracle of the Seven Energies, Colette Baron Reed, which is the one that's in behind here. Plus, we also have the current one I'm using, which is the Visions Guide, Catherine Toombs and James Eade. Anyway, getting right into it. So what I see here is whatever it is that you're dealing with right now, it almost seems like there's a highly emotional situation that's impacting you right now. So Six of Pentacles, I feel like there's some sense of being attached to something in around the past, that you're trying to find some kind of balance, over, of course, because there's obviously some changes that you're undergoing. But the Six of Pentacles is also a card that indicates that you are closer to a goal than you think you are. Six of Pentacles is something where you're trying to seek the balance in a situation. So I feel like this is a time, like I say, where you're really trying to balance out your mindset, because a lot of the cards that followed were wands and swords. So I do feel that this is something that you're really trying to, I don't know that you're in a comfortable space, and I would almost say that you're absolutely not, but I feel like you are trying to, you're on the upper end of it, you're at the tail end of it, and you're certainly in a situation where there is a period of healing. So there's an exchange of energy and that kind of thing that goes along with the Six of Pentacles. But overall, I just feel like you are moving on to a higher plane of wisdom, and that in itself is going to bring you back to a sense of power. So, like I said, the Six of Pentacles is still that card of dealing with some issues, probably surrounding the past, most likely. And just because of what I see here with the two children sort of hanging on to, the pentacle, it's more along the lines of, trying to maintain a semblance of protection. Well, you are protected, of course, but this is trying to sort of figure out something here that you're not quite ready to let go of either way. And some of the meanings with this particular deck is a little bit different here as well. So I'm trying to read you some of the traditional as well as go into that goes with this particular deck. But again, there's still some period of adjustment, I feel, that's going on with your thoughts and your attitudes. So unable to get through this situation, I feel like you really have to go through it. You just have to go through it. Just know that on the other end of it, you will be, looking back on this as more of it's a place of power that you're moving yourself into. So there's tension, there's discomfort, there's a little bit of anxiety is the undertone here for sure. But as I said, I feel like the blessing is that you're going to be developing a part of yourself that helps you to stop rethinking the past and kind of move into and embrace the things that are about currently that you're going to be moving into, because the Six of Pentacles is still that exchange of I wanted to say that there was a cards out that came out here as well about gratitude, but the Six of Pentacles is also that sort of energy of trying to, because I'm trying to sort of grasp what it was here with the Queen of Wands following up, and then as well with the Knight of Wands, could be dealing with somebody who is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and certainly, again, because these are wands being action cards, but there's also a lot of indicator that these are creative, like you're very creative, you're very imaginative in this period with whatever it is that you're dealing with, and it seems as though this is your place that you're developing all of the answers from. So you're using your imagination to be able to sort of save yourself from, whatever the struggles are that you're painful sort of learning experiences that you're undergoing. But it's also, try not to forget that the hard times, of course, are the things that bring you to charity, bring you to a space where you can help other people through their difficulties. And that's something that you can be proud of, because it puts you in a place of power, but it also puts you in a place where you're more prepared for, if any time in the future there is going to be a tipping of the scales, you have that ability to balance things out in a way that you're not, so that you're better off, so you're not having to forego or sacrifice too much. So it's that kind of thing. So here is what I would say is more you spending a lot of time, in a space of, and maybe getting a little bit of help from the past or from something in the past, but it's still very positive cards overall. So we also have the Queen of Wands. And as I mentioned before, the Queen of Wands is also that energy of, being very direct, a very energetic sort of somebody who has that allure of drawing attention to themselves. So this may be somebody that you're dealing with. This may be somebody that is quite vibrant to you or attractive to you. But either way, there's usually a lot of positive energy around this person. This could also be yourself, where you're starting to feel that there's more positivity overall, like as I say, because it's coming up, there's a 10 of Swords that's further behind here. So like I said, I still feel like this is someone that's coming in to assist you in this basis, just because there's just too much energy around trying to resolve. It's like you're too busy sort of resolving all of these other issues. But again, there's someone here that's coming in that is a lot more inspiring, a lot more positive energy, and sort of livens things up for you. So that is what I would say there. We also have the Knight of Wands. And again, the Knight of Wands is also bringing that information in, where I sort of feel like there's at odds sort of energy with this card, and that's what this particular deck depicts. So it's like you're attracted to two elements. You've got one here where there's something from the past that you're trying to hang on to. And then there's also this other element where it's kind of a contradictory energy. So it's one where you want to pursue your goals, you want to, be perhaps maybe even a little bit reckless, but there's too much energy around. Keep the balance. Do not go into a reckless space. Make your decisions when you're in a space of more grounded sort of energy, because a lot of this Wands energy does indicate that there is something here of a undisciplined kind of quality to it. So there's like a surge in confidence or a surge in energy, a spark of some sort that's coming through here, and that could lead you to being a little bit more hasty or brash or saying things without forethought. So when we get to the King of Swords, again, this could be an air sign, Libra, Gemini, King of Swords. It kind of feels more along the lines of a Libra energy here, but again, kings are definitely dealing with a mature sort of energy here as well. So I feel like this is where you are in that space of trying to think more, I don't want to say sharp, but you might be a little sharp in the way that you converse, but I would say that your mind is quite sharp at this time as well. So it's really in that space of lots of ideas, lots of mental clarity that's starting to come through here. And there's more lucidity because you're in that space of trying to sort of fight off or fend off some of the things that are less clear to you. As I said, it's like you're sort of divided in some way between the past elements as well as something here that is representing your goals and taking charge of your life in some way. So it's also about facing the facts of a situation and finding the ways to best proceed in a scenario. So, and it's keep it simple is basically what you're being told here. Now, the Magician is somebody who has a lot of energy, a lot of power. They do know how to manifest things in from the mind and bringing it down into more of a practical state. So I feel like you're in that space. You haven't put anything into practicality yet. You're still very much in the mind, figuring out life's mysteries, trying to understand the landscape and how to proceed forward, basically. And this is going to take a lot of will to sort of master your subconscious. So it's the subconscious, even though the moon a lot of times represents that. In this particular deck, it does mean that you're mastering your subconscious and that material world. So you have a good balance, or you're grasping that balance. And so there's a lot of self-determination because this is someone who has decisive power, self-confidence, true visionary, and very passionate and creative about the things that they do. So I feel like this is that, again, burst of energy. Lots of that's coming through here. So it definitely presupposes action that will be taken. Now, the Nine of Swords is still you being caught up in a situation where, again, you're still kind of mulling over all of the things that you have to bear down on. So it's you probably fending off the ego here, doom and gloom, and a mindset where you're not really thinking in the positive, but you have all this energy behind. So there could be a lot of anger issues that you're dealing with here as well. But it puts you in a bit of a vulnerable space when you're looking at that nine of swords energy. You're almost through that full energy, and of course the 10 of swords, I believe, is the one that followed or is soon to follow. It does follow. So I feel like you're almost through a situation where you felt it was quite grave and almost ruined you. And so there's a lot of restlessness here as well. But it's, again, don't respond in any undignified way. You will overcome this. You just have to trust that you're overcoming the fears right now. And it is something that you're trying to deal with right now. So again, a lot of doom and gloom with that card there. But I still feel like you're able to, because the cards overall are conclusive here with the 10 of swords, you're pretty much all the way through this. So there's a victory coming in for you very soon after this. So it's very encouraging. And again, there's a lot of anguish, a lot of, feeling like you can't handle a situation, but the worst of it is over. So whatever you thought was defeating you, you are in control of, and you will find that sense of peace following this. So you are more fierce than whatever it is that you are trying to overwhelm yourself with. So the Page of Swords, again, this could be a younger person here as well, but it definitely does mean that there's a lot of clear mindset that is coming through. You are cycling through a lot of this negativity over and over and over again, kind of clutching onto these thoughts as though they are real. And I feel like this is a situation where you are going to be able to disintegrate all of that, that false reality. Because of that, I feel like there's, again, a lot of energy, a lot of anger, a lot of thoughts about emotional pain, things that you're trying to work through. But overall, there's a sense of honesty and justice with these cards, and a lot of clarity that is coming in. Knight of Swords, again, very, very strong mind, you stuck in the mind sort of energy, but it does sort of imply that you are getting through all of this. You have some strategies that you can use to work through all of this excess mindset and overthinking. But it's also remembering to be compassionate to yourself and empathetic. It's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's knowing when enough is enough, and not to overwhelm yourself to the point where you feel weak by your own overthinking. So it's about being determined to overcome this. Don't fixate on the things that empower you. So again, it's stepping back, considering your feelings, allowing that energy to just flow through you, and know that it's not, not to engage with the thoughts, just to know that sure, you feel upset, sure, you feel like you're trapped in some ways, but know that the answers will come when you stop overthinking. That's when the creativity starts to open up more so, and you can find your solutions. Queen of Swords, again, a lot of energy around overthinking here, but that's still the card of where things are still, you're restraining whatever the thoughts are. This is, you being able to rein in all of the negativity and realize that this is still not something that plagues you. You have the intelligence to sort of overcome, keep a cool mental clarity, and sort of deal with the situation with a certain degree of couth and grace. So the other cards that come out are, again, these are the Oracle of the Seven. Just looking for so the ones here are roots of abundance. You have something that's incredible coming in for you once you get through, and you are almost through it, because you're at the 9 and then it's progressed to the 10. So a lot of this is going to be coming in very shortly thereafter, but this is you being stabilized. This is you feeling a lot more rooted, a lot more grounded, paying attention to, the things around you that actually are being looked after. So there's a lot more here that indicates that you have a safety and a sense of security around you that will help you to achieve. So there's growth, and growth never follows a straight line, especially when you see the roots of the trees, everything, kind of, you're still rooted in the ground, and there's a lot of seeds that you can plant, but you have to be unstoppable and unshakable in the way that you thrive to get through all of this. So again, that all comes from staying grounded and remembering who you are, remembering where you have safety and security. So there's also, and what I mean by that is, remember the things that anchor you. Remember the things you can go to. Remember the resources around you. That's what anchors you. So when you see beautiful and caging, that means you are no longer becoming a prisoner of your own guilt, as the card depicts. It does take a certain level of self-inventory, as it indicates, where you're making amends and there's accountability. So the card is also about where you're able to access a part of your life where you can start to play again, because you're releasing yourself from these emotional traps and this guilt and this powerful emotional state. And that has been transformative. You're getting past these difficult situations. So it's no longer a self-sabotaging cycle of codependency or a distorted sense of self. You actually are starting to find your personal power. This is where you can let go of the self-blame and all of that negative, low self-worth, all of that. Don't break your promises to yourself. And what I mean by that is, realize that you can liberate yourself from the things that try to hold you back. There is nothing wrong with feeling confident and knowing that you had to go through something to get to the other side. This is you finding more of a neutral state, and again, paying attention, taking action, uncaging yourself, because all of the cage really was is a prisoner that you were making yourself. Be grateful for the things around you. Be grateful for the resources and the things that you have, no matter how imperfect they may appear. The fact is to be grateful. You can actually look at everything and say you are enough. Your surroundings are enough. You have a sense of onus on you to be self-sufficient and to let go of how you think everybody else has to show up, because this is really about everything out in the world is there for you. It's at your fingertips, but it's more a matter of, are you willing to do the work to find it, to circulate it, to make it work for you? And nothing good comes easy. Everything is work. Nothing is just going to be handed to you. And if something is handed to you, it can be taken away just as quick. So you have to know how to work with the assets that you have, how to work with the gifts that you have, how to make, potential out of your own strengths. Don't think that the things that made you vulnerable and weak in the past are weaknesses. They are the things that also help you to, trust yourself more, because you know that you've made it through. And don't be attached to how you think it made you feel. It's about being attached to how you ended up on the other side of it. So it's more about realizing again what creates abundance in your life, and to be grateful for the things, no matter how imperfect they were, because the imperfections are the things that make you more perfect. And however perfect really is, it's not really perfection so much as it is stronger to deal with the challenges that go before you. So you're never supposed to 100% be free of those things. You're going to always be challenged like a warrior with those things in life. It's how do you continually show up for yourself and believe in yourself when no one else does. So Divine Matrix is that card of knowledge. It's you are a divine being. It is being connected to that fabric of reality, understanding synchronicities, watching for solutions, understanding how things come together and how they become meaningful when you find the patterns in life, and not getting trapped by the idea of all the separateness. You're different from other people, and seeing the separateness is when you start to realize you're no longer grateful for things. Start to look for the way things connect. Just remember, everybody else is on their own journey, and they will have lots of their own pains. So for you to understand their pain is one thing, but it's also knowing to have enough boundaries so that you do not become woven into their story and their own elements of unhealed wounds. You can't take on that journey for someone else. So this is really about being connected to the things in your life and seeing the patterns and understanding those tapestries that are being woven around you. But again, understanding the truth of what's happening in those situations. And what I mean by understanding the truth, it also means that you can be ready to make changes in your life, but that doesn't mean that everything around you is going to support that. So you have to find ways to support yourself by regrounding and not living in a vacuum, but expanding. So you can bring yourself out to situations where there's a certain element of trust, And yes, you'll be vulnerable to being hurt again, but the important thing is when you live life on your own terms, you can trust that maybe you make another mistake, which is fine, but you're not operating in a vacuum. You're surrounded by different realities. And so by allowing yourself to be impacted by other forces that might discourage you or get in the way, it also means that you're more alive and you can actually start to see your own power and realize that you do have the ability to react in a way that is supportive to you versus being reacting to a situation where someone is taking something from you. So your power always comes from within. You always have to find ways to protect yourself in a way that, here's my backup plan. How do I introduce myself to a situation without completely making myself vulnerable and still hanging on to a part of myself where I still feel like I'm in control or I have a certain element of power. So hopefully that makes some sense, guys, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight there because it looked like there were some things that you were dealing with. And of course, the ultimate card is your shining through. You are getting through all of this. This is self-expression. This is everything, all the masks coming off. This is seeing life without the filters. This is authentic communication. This is being who you are, not playing small. You know, this is where you're refusing to see yourself in a light that is not reflecting power. You know, you're stepping into your true power. You're stepping into your true self. It's where you're starting to bring everything together, all the things that you've experienced, and you're integrating this. So this is going to put you into some sense of center stage here, and you will be noticed for that. So this is a time of excitement. This is also a time where, again, you can step up, you can share your gifts, you can seize a new opportunity. You are also, like I said, being in the limelight, which means you also have to be careful of the voices in your head of things that you can't do something, you know, or you don't know enough, or, you know, thinking of yourself as less than. This is also reminding yourself that when you step up, there's going to be people that step in your way, and you better be able to not take it personally and face your own light. And people will always try to steal that light, and it's not because you aren't deserving of it. It's because there is a competing force, a competing element of darkness out there that wants to sort of, hone in on that same light. And unfortunately, when darkness comes in to take the light, it's also going to diminish you if you allow it. But sometimes just taking space and accountability for your own energy helps you to sort of maintain. So don't get stuck in other people's darkness. Don't let them take the light. Pull back, do things that support you, do activities that help you to build, grow, expand, because this is what all of this energy is. So you are moving into an amazing path, your Cancer. So I commend you. You've gone through a really heavy journey, and be grateful because you have uncaged yourself. And there's a lot more that is coming in for you that is going to be life changing. Anyway, that's what I have for you. Keep moving forward. Never give up.